The beauty in our world deserves to be cherished, sustained, and rediscovered. We share this life, and every day we have the opportunity to act as thoughtful participants in it. What do we care about? What do we take for granted? Would we miss it if it disappeared? Preservation begins with asking deep questions and turning our attention to the environment around us. Marine biologist and explorer Sylvia Earle wrote in her book, The World is Blue, should we race to see how quickly we can consume the last tuna, swordfish, and grouper, or race to see what can be done to protect what remains? For now, there's still a choice. Our daily habits are a mirror reflecting back what we truly care about. Our actions are key to protecting the well-being of our communities, cities, and planet. We only have one at this point. We do. We need to back up. Pause for a moment to notice what is being neglected and take an audit. We can break out of patterns, simplify our lives, and focus on the things that will last a long time. Together, we can chart a brighter path into the future. Our Charleston chapter chose this month's exploration of preserve, and Chris Nichols illustrated the theme. The man of the hour. Daniel I. Paulson enjoys a multifaceted career as a conductor, composer, music educator, soloist, and clinician. He's super busy. He really is. I can't believe he took the time to do this, and I'm so grateful. Currently, he is professor of voice and choral music at Sacramento City College and served as founder and music director for Vox Musica. I actually met Daniel at one of our events. After asking a few questions about his work, he kind of reluctantly, he's not a bragging kind of guy, he told me about the story about how he became a carrier of Native American tribal songs. This wasn't what I expected, which is what I love the most about this city and meeting people in it. There are so many folks, all of us amongst here, who are doing meaningful work without the need for a ton of recognition and fanfare. But this story needs to be told. So today he will share the remarkable story of how, together with his women's choral ensemble, Vox Musica, were gifted indigenous music by a tiny Native American tribe from the foothills of Northern California. We will be hearing this story along with ways we can support the Nishinan tribe from the Nevada City Rancheria, who are here today, and help them regain their federal recognition. Welcome Daniel Paulson to the stage.
I hope this works.
You got it.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? So I have to run through a lot of information for you today to give you a little bit about a backstory about my organization that I started in 2005. This is our first Photoshop of our women's course. We look more like a Gothic band. We were small in numbers, and actually one of our founding members is two of our founding members are still in the organization. We're 13 years old, and I started it as sort of a because of an untapped potential in our community. And over the years, we've been focusing on creating concert-based projects that are focused on adventurous music. And we've been fulfilling that vision for many years. We've created concert projects that focus on 18th century music from the Venetian Ospedale. You can ask me about that later. Eastern music from India, Persia, Georgia. We also had this really cool project where we had a DJ come from Portland who was live sound sampling us, and we were doing projection mapping. And we recently did a concert project featuring bedtime stories and settings of nursery rhymes. A couple weeks ago, we finished a concert project featuring all settings of Rumi text. A couple years ago, we did a concert project featuring the Hong drum. You can ask me about that later, too, if you don't know what that is. We commission a lot of works, and we're here from Sacramento, and I'm sure there's a good number of you in our community that here today that don't even know we're here. Creating and preserving and providing the opportunity for rare and adventurous musical compositions to be accessible for our world and our choral ensembles from around the world has always been the heart of our organization. Most of our ensemble members are professional musicians themselves, and they know, as music educators and professional musicians, what the benefit is for creating music for our community. However, as our organization grew and through an appreciative inquiry process, we discovered that we really wanted to focus a different way for our organization. We really wanted to make a significant difference for our humanity. We want to be able to name and claim and articulate the ways in which we are doing that, ways in which we are supporting our community. And so fast forward here to 2015, we were working on a concert project from a local violinist. Some of you may know of him, Joe Kai. He's known as the looping violinist, and I had this crazy idea of doing a concert project for looping violin and women's chorus. And so I called him up and he said, sure, let's do this. And then I called my friend Derek Supp, who grew up off the American River, and asked him if he would collaborate with us. And so the three of us agreed to create this concert project for looping violin and women's chorus. And then the three of us went out and did our field research, as you see the video. That's Derek in the water way in the back there, playing with the birds. But we did our field research, and after that encounter and that research, we said, let's focus this concert project on the American River. Let's find music that comes from the American River, and Derek decided to write a piece about the salmon going up the river. And I also, after this moment, said, I'm going to go do some research on my own, and through that research, I found a video of a lovely human being who was giving a talk way up, I know, right? Giving a talk about her Native American tribe and singing to a group of folks in the Nevada City area. And that person is Shelly Covert, and she just happens to be the spokesperson for the Nishinan tribe from the Nevada City Rancheria, and she's here with us today. It's my dear friend Shelly. She's over here. After finding that video, I was really excited to go up and meet and learn about Shelly and her tribe and how they lived off of the American River, and maybe a little bit about their music. And so I reached out to her via the holy Facebook, and she replied from the heavens. And I told her about our concert project, and I said, in this moment, I just want to come up and meet you and just kind of learn about your tribe. And she graciously agreed and said, come up to Nevada City to our office and we can talk. And so I drove up. And as I drove up, and this is now January of 2016, I drove up to Nevada City. And as a choral educator and a voice teacher, one of the things that I have to practice deeply is how to listen deeply, how to listen beyond, listen not only with my ears, but my eyes, listen through words, listen beyond. And that's my job, to help people discover their voice and to move into places they don't know they can go. And so I approached this the same way, where I wanted to meet her, but I wanted to not come with some sort of objective, like I'm gonna go and get a piece of music, it's me out on our concert, it's gonna be so awesome. But I wanted to go and just my objective here is just to listen to her. I'm gonna listen deeply without any sort of objective and see if something rises to the surface. So I arrived. It was beautiful. It's at Judith's house, right, in Nevada City. And Judith is an artist, a famous artist, and she has several houses in the back. And I didn't know which one. I was going knocking on all the doors, and then Shelly opens the door. Over here, come on in. And so I went in, and inside was a sort of small museum of Nishinan artifacts and books and paintings and stuff. And she said, come down. We said, I think we even had tea, if I remember that, or something. We may have had some tea, but it was a beautiful moment to meet Shelly. And just, I sat there and listened to her, and she told me about the rich history of the Nishinan tribe and how they lived off the land. She told me stories about, one thing I didn't know is that, in the 1950s and 60s, that our federal government took away the federal recognition from our Native Americans. And then that has since been rescinded, but I heard and found out that the Nishinan tribe from the Nevada City Rancheria are one of 3 tribes that have not received their recognition back. And they are in federal courts actively working to try to get that back. And Shelly also told me that she was the spokesperson for the tribe. She also described that she was young and adventurous, and they're very traditional Nishinans that did not like her young ways of sharing and talking about and doing this, and that she had this very huge responsibility to be the spokesperson, and she didn't know what she was doing either. She said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going out there, but I want to share, but they don't want to share. I want to tell the stories, and they don't want to tell the stories. And I know that through sharing that we can make a difference for our tribe. And that was the moment that I knew something was special. That rose to the surface as the vision and mission of my organization is called Music Worth Sharing. And I knew that there was something there. And so the hairs on the back of my neck started, engaging. I was trying to think of a musical word, but it didn't work out. I also learned about their music. I learned about how that music is very precious. It teaches people. It's the way they teach and tell stories. It's the way they learn. It's the way they grow. And that music for the tribe is protected even within the tribe. So tribal songs that can be owned by a family, and other family members or other families can't sing those tribal songs unless they've been gifted. There's a huge process of gifting. So it's like your own royalty, or your own, yeah. And so it was interesting. That's something I didn't know about their music and their heritage. And then she went on to explain another story. And this story, I'll probably get really emotional about it too. But the story was about this sacred drum that had been a part of their family for hundreds of years. And Shelly told me about how when she was younger, and I think it was around 7 years old, is that correct or am I incorrect? 13, far off, but 13, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, when Shelly was 13, Shelly was inquiring with her grandfather about some spiritual aspects, and Shelly's grandfather said, Shelly, I want you to go and visit the drum, the sacred drum, the heartbeat of the tribe, the voice of the tribe. Go spend time with the drum. And so Shelly would go to the Nevada City Museum, and where the drum was being housed. And depending upon the docent, Shelly would be able to touch and play the drum. They would pull it out for her. And so she went and visited the drum for a while. Then her grandfather fell ill. And then Shelly, got older and got busy with life, and then felt very upset that she didn't have the opportunity to go see the drum for several months. It's been some time since she went to go see the drum. And so she went and visited the drum, and they had changed over docents, and the drum was lost. Gone. And Shelly was devastated. She said, my grandfather entrusted me to visit the drum and take care of the drum, to spend time with it, and now it's gone. And she didn't know what to do. So she went to the tribal elders, and she said, I don't know what to do. What's going on here? And they said, have you tried to sing to the drum? If the drum has its own life, it's living its life out in the world. Maybe if you sing, and call that drum back, that it will come back, And I was really touched by that. And then so Shelly said, you know what? So I wrote this drum song, and it speaks about, come back, let's sing together. We want to make music with you, right? From the north, come from the north, come from the south, come from the east, come for the west, and let's sing and let's be together again. And so she wrote this song in Nishinan, and then she turns to me in this moment and she says, you know what? I wrote the song. I can gift it to you. And so she sat down. She sat down and she began to sing. Solemede queanam, solemede queanam, solemede queanam, solemede queanam, ukum kuyamin, ukum kuyamin, ukum kuyamin, ukum
Solemedic way annam, solemedic way annam, solemedic way annam, solemedic way annam, solemedic way
So she let me and gifted me this song and then gave me permission to set it for women's voices and looping violin. It was a reimagined of an original piece, and that was one of the aspects of which she really appreciated about our treatment to her heritage and her music. She also revealed to me that, oh, can you get the thingy? Yeah, pretty please, thank you very much. She also revealed to me that the tribe really appreciated our care, and that through this project, they built some trust with us. I later found out also that because of this initial project, Shelly felt like she could trust other artists, and that then sparked other creative opportunities for them in their community. This was a huge honor for our organization. It was very transformative, and we were deeply moved. What I learned from our initial collaboration with the tribe was that the preservation of their culture and music was desperately needed. I also knew that I had a choral organization that had resources to help preserve their music, and that we felt that we possibly could make a difference with their efforts to receive their federal recognition back, or at least share their story to a larger audience. So a year and a half later, through another appreciative inquiry process, our organization decided to reach out to Shelly to see if we could preserve more of their music. I called her up, this time with a purpose, and I said, I want to talk, and I want to talk about some serious stuff. And let's have a good conversation. She said, come on up. So I came up, and through the conversation, I did the proposal. I said, we want to do this. I think it's important. And she was a little hesitant, and she said, the reasons why I'm hesitant is that a lot of our tribal members believe that the life of the music has its own life, and that if we were to get in the way of that, it would be preventing it from its own life. If it needs to die, it should die. And some believe that. But Shelly also believes in sharing, and Shelly also believes in preserving their heritage and culture, because if they don't, they will die. Shelly then got back to me and said, let's do this. She got permission from her aunts and her mother to gift us 10 tribal songs. One is over 1,000 years old. I Am a Carrier and some of our singers are carriers of that piece for our involvement in that process. But we're not allowed to sing that song in public because it is so sacred. I know it in my head. The other songs I know a lot of us all know the tribal songs that we're gifted, and they run through our head daily. But we were gifted these songs, and these are precious family songs that her grandmother Carmel sang in Nishinan. Most all of them are in Nishinan as well. We went up, we documented, we videotaped our experience and our relationship with the tribe. I recorded them, I transcribed them into modern notation. We also created an opportunity for us to be one with the ensemble, one with their tribe, our ensemble with the tribe, and we created a very unique cultural exchange where we went up and had a potluck with the tribe, and we communed with each other, and we as an ensemble gifted them music back. We asked questions to get to know them, to listen and learn from each other. And then those songs, my original vision was to take these songs and present them in a concert. Well, I come to find out they're like 30 seconds long. And I was like, oh no, how am I supposed to present a concert with, what was it, like 4 minutes of music? Thank you for coming, right? So I was like, oh crap, what am I supposed to do? So I buckled down and I do what I do as a curator of musical projects, that if you can't find the music, you write it yourself, or you go find somebody that can. So with Shelly's permission, I had been documenting our 3 years of relationships and recording every single time I met them, just so I had a backup of something. And I went back through and I wrote a libretto about their story and their life. And then I set it to music, new composition, to support the tribal songs. And I built an instrument that was likened to their music. I call it the bow drum. It's this big branch I found in my backyard. And then I went to Klein Music and I got this bass string, and then I drilled some stuff into it and built this wood box and put a pickup on it. It's really cool. It looks just like a very large bow. And the reason why I did that was because Shelly told me that she appreciated the fact that we reimagine things and are not trying to do their thing, right? But doing it in a different way. And I also learned through the research that they often plucked their bows to create musical pitches. And so I thought this would be a really unique, reimagined instrument to support an a cappella setting of their story, that to present and highlight their tribal songs. And it's called We Are, We Have, We Lived. It was a wonderful experience. It's a very moving experience as well. Shelly is a part of the composition as well. She participates and sings the sacred drum song. I believe that there has never been a time so necessary for us to listen to the voices of our ancestors, to resonate with them, and by going with them, we can be better. What I learned, what preservation taught me about music, is that music is an oral mirror, a human reflection. By preserving it and sharing it, we are reflecting and being reflected by the people who came before us. Music is an inspiring and loving teacher. It has the power to unite the wisdom of the past with the promise of the future. And if I could offer one bit of advice, listen deeply, listen to each other, listen to your neighbors. Listen into the distance as if you are looking into the horizon. Because when you gaze into the horizon, your vision goes beyond your eyes and sees forever. When you listen into the distance, your ears reach beyond the farthest sounds, and the infinite becomes sensible. Only then can we get a fix on our position in the boundless world.
Whoa.